Billy Connolly, for more than 20 years you've been one of Britain's most admired and most popular comedians, and you're still out on the road. Does standing up in front of an audience come easy, or is it frightening still?
Well, it's both. It's very frightening, and gets more so as the years go by, the thought of doing it. But doing it doesn't get easy, but when you actually step out onto the stage, those fears and apprehensions disappear, and I think I enjoy it more now than I've ever done. The fear of doing it gets more, but the joy of doing it is also getting more, because I've reached a very odd stage where I'm very confident about who I am and who I have been and where I come from. So I can actually tell the truth now when I want to. I can actually stop a story, a fantasy. I've invented lots of uncles and aunts and things that I talk about. I've just invented these people to say things. But sometimes I can stop in the middle and say, I must tell you a thing that happened when I was about 5, and I do, and it's not funny. I'll just tell them it and leave it with them, and launch it. And it's a lovely position to be in, where you've gone beyond being a comedian to something else. I'm not quite sure what it is, but they trust you. You can feel the trust, and I don't know if it's love or whatever. There's a bond comes between you and the audience. They've known you for a long time. They trust you. They know you're going to be good anyway, so they'll put up with a lot, you know. And where they put up with a lot, I'll put a lot on them, and I tell them things, and I warn them that I might be doing this, and it's a thing I really do enjoy. I really enjoy it.
Tell me something that happened to you when you were 5 that isn't funny.
Oh yeah, no. While I was saying that to you, I was trying to think of an example, and it's very difficult. If when we're talking here, if one comes flying in, I'll tell you. But it's just like things people have said and things I found odd, you know. And last night I was talking about to the audience. Where was it last night? I was in Yorkshire at the Batley. Do you remember we did Batley? Well, I did that place last night, and I was talking about my child, about the way my father used to speak to me, and the way the people who brought me up would talk to me, and that you never understood. Like they would say, you know, all those expressions like "you'll smile on the other side of your face," and that one they use in Scotland, which has always made me laugh. "I'll take my hand off your face." Like you would think if you were going to tell somebody you're going to slap them, you would say you put your hand on your face. You say, "I'll take my hand off your." You know, I was just in those realms. I love to talk to them. It's a kind of just a wee cultural thing, a wee Glaswegian thing.
You've always worked live. You prefer
Yes,
to work live.
that's what I like.
Why is that?
That's where I come from. That's the way I started as a folk singer, and before that I was a funny schoolboy, and I was a funny apprentice, you know, and I was a funny territorial army guy, and that's all of it is live, and I understand live. I understand being a welder in rotten circumstances with the rain coming down in the shipyard and everybody laughing and getting electric shocks from your equipment, and people find it very funny. Things that normal people would find horrendous, I found, and we all found very funny in that sort of prison, barracks-like atmosphere of the shipyard when the gate was closed and it all became very weird. And I loved the humour in there. It was cruel and good, you know. And I always wondered,
Were there other people as funny as you?
oh, most of them were funnier than me. There was a guy there who should have been a professional. His name was Pig McCrindle, and everybody in the Clyde knows him, and the ones who don't know him pretend they know him.
What have you got that he hasn't got?
A banjo, I think. Yeah.
If it's frightening before you go on, what's the last half hour like?
On stage,
Before you go on?
before you go on, it's not very nice. It's riddled with self-doubt and anxiety, because I never do my homework. I've never written a thing in my life. I wrote the history of Scotland. I did it I did it to do with the London Symphony Orchestra, and it was great. I was asked to do 15 minutes, and it stretched up to about 3/4 of an hour. Just this ridiculous history of Scotland from the beginning of time to now, and missing out the Covenanters, which I've never understood, and stuff like that. But I get very apprehensive and scared and wonder what I'm doing there. You know, every time I do it, I say, oh God, why? Oh, why did I do this? But once the time comes to get off, I think your brain does it to you. It sort of levels you off and gets you, because when it doesn't happen, when you get confident, it's not, you don't feel it. I did it once in Liverpool. I remember when we were driving up, I thought, it's going to be good. It's always good. The Liverpool Empire, it's great for me. We're going to kill them. And I went on. I forgot you have to work, whether you're popular or not. And I got on, and it was dying about a third of the way through. I thought, my God, what am I going to do? And I had to shift gear and start working, and it worked as it usually did. And it's been a real lesson to me. And I think that's what scares me. I think I'm haunted by that Liverpool Empire.
Do you ever lose your way?
The thought of dying, you know.
Yeah. Do you ever lose your way in the act?
All the time, every day. I love losing my way. I love it. I love it in my life too. I love being lost. I love being lost in New York. I love being lost in Chicago or Inverness. I love going up wee lanes. I love being in Dubai in a wee back street watching somebody embroider. And I just love being lost all of my life. But in my act, I get lost all the time, and I try to move things around to see if I'm talking about, for instance, parachuting. And the previous night it has led to welding or whatever, flying. Then the next night I'll try and talk about this first and see what it leads to, because you can't get from that to parachuting that's gone backwards. So we'll see where it leads, and then I'll stick something in the middle and see how that affects the next thing. And it often comes up with something absolutely brand new, which is the way I operate. Because I told you, I don't write. I never write it down.